Alright guys, we've reached the semifinals of the Chile Open. In the first semifinal we have the top seed, Francisco Cerundolo, who came through both of his matches in very close 3 sets. Very close 3-setters. He won the first round or second round because he had a bye, against Yannick Hanfmann, the German, 7-6 in the third. And then he just defeated his countryman, Tomás Martín Echeverry, 7-5 in the third. So he has come through 2 very close matches. He's looked okay. He hasn't really looked that good. He's looked decent, I guess. And he will face Laszlo Djere, the Serbian who is on the comeback trail after reaching the semifinals in Buenos Aires and losing to the kid who went on to win the title, of course. He is now in another semifinal in clay after defeating the young Portuguese player Jaime Faria. The head-to-head is 1-0 to Laszlo Djere. They faced once 5 years ago around this time at Buenos Aires, and Djere won in a tough 3-setter. This is looking a bit like a 50-50 match. Like I said, Cerundolo hasn't looked that good. I haven't seen any of Djere's matches, but it looked like he kind of had a bit of a mental lapse in that second set against Faria. I guess I technically watched like 5 minutes of it, and I heard from the commentator something about he was leading, and then Faria came back and to win that second set 6-4, and Djere won in the third, eventually 6-4. So this looks like it can maybe go either way, but I will give the edge to Cerundolo, just perhaps the more experienced player, and Djere is still on the comeback trail, so I'll give my slight edge to Cerundolo and have him winning this in 3 sets. The second semifinal, we have the defending champion, Sebastián Baez, who just defended his title in Rio in one of the easiest title defenses ever. But like I said, you can't choose who you play, so good for him anyway. And now he is 2 matches away from defending his title in Santiago, because he won these tournaments back-to-back last year. He is 2 matches away from repeating that feat quite impressively. And he will face, once again, his countryman, Camilo Hugo Garabay, whom he just defeated in the semifinals of Rio. So the head-to-head was 1-0 to Baez. Now it is 2-0. Both meetings were on clay, of course, one of them being last week. I'm going to make somewhat of a bold prediction here. And I know that Baez is a defending champion, and that Hugo just lost to him by a pretty bad scoreline in the last 2 sets. Lost those last 2 sets 6-1, 6-1 after taking the opener 6-3. I'm going to predict Hugo to get his revenge and defeat Baez in 3 sets. And this might be a bold prediction considering that Baez just smoked him in those last 2 sets a week ago, and that he is the defending champion and the higher ranked player. But I think that Hugo has been returning slightly better, and that can make the difference. Very slightly. This can still go either way. But normally I would think that since Baez just kind of cooked Hugo in those last 2 sets a week ago, you should beat him again. But Hugo, he should have more energy right now than he did in that tournament. It looks like his matches were not really... okay, he did play 2 3-set matches before the match he played today, but apparently he had spent a lot of time on court in that last tournament. Maybe he went through qualifiers or something. I don't know. But Yeah, normally I would pick Baez to win again, given that he just cooked him in those last 2 sets last week. But that is the same situation that happened when Davidovich Fokina defeated Matteo Arnaldi in the semifinals of the Delray Beach Open. Arnaldi had just defeated Fokina 6-1, 6-3 the previous week in Dallas, so I predicted him to win again in Delray Beach, but instead he lost in straight sets. So, judging from that, it shows me that these players, even if they get destroyed a week prior, they can still come back and defeat the player that they just got destroyed against in the next tournament. So I'm going to predict that this will happen, and Ugo will defeat Baez in 3 sets. So I will have Ugo defeating Baez in 3 sets, and Cerundolo defeating Gera in 3 sets. And we will have, I predict, an all-Argentine final at the Chile Open.